بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. القاعدة الثالثة, the third principle from 10 قواعد في الاستقامة, 10 principles to being upright or to being righteous by Shaykh Abdul Razak Al-Abbad Hafidhahullah. We already did the first two. اليوم القاعدة الثالثة أصل الاستقامة استقامة القلب. The asl, the origin of being righteous or being upright or being on the deen of Al-Islam, practicing the religion of Al-Islam, the origin of it is that the heart, a person's heart is upright first. That a person's heart is upon istiqamah. That a person's heart is righteous or a person's heart is upright. روى الإمام أحمد من حديث أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال لا يستقيم إيمان عبد حتى يستقيم قلبه. This hadith is collected by Imam Ahmad rahimahullah fil Musnad, in his collection of hadith, the Musnad, al-Musnad of Imam Ahmad, Hassanahu Shaykh Al-Albani. Shaykh Al-Albani said the hadith is Sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يستقيم إيمان عبد, that no person's iman will be correct and upright. No person's iman, no person's faith, a person's faith is not upright and correct. حتى يستقيم قلبه, until the heart is correct, until the heart is upright first and righteous. Showing that the origin, the asl al-istiqamah, the origin of righteousness and being upright is in the heart, starts in the heart. فالقلب إذا صلح واستقام تبعه البدن. So if the heart is upright and correct, then the rest of the body will fall in line. The rest of the body will fall in line with what is in the heart of a person, what's in a person's heart. قال الحافظ ابن رجب رحمه الله فأصل الاستقامة استقامة القلب على التوحيد. Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, al-Hafiz, he said, the origin of al-istiqamah is that the origin of being upright and righteous, that a person, their heart is upright regarding the oneness of Allah Jalla wa'ala. That a person practices a tawheed in their life, al-awwalan, that a person's heart, ikhlas and sincerity in their heart for Allah Jalla wa'ala, and practicing a tawheed, just like, and Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, he explained that istiqamah meaning with the same meaning that one of the Sahaba described it with in the beginning of the book. Anybody remember? The different narrations or the different explanation of the ayah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. That one of the Sahaba described it as being upon tawheed. كَمَا فَسَّرَ, one of the Sahaba, Abu Bakr al-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, كما فسر أبو بكر الصديق رضي الله عنه وغيره قوله. When they read that ayat and they described that ayat بأنهم لم يلتفتوا إلى غيره, that they don't turn, a person that is upon istiqamah, they're upright and righteous, they don't turn their worship to anyone or anything other than Allah Jalla wa'ala. And this is the definition that Al-Hafiz ibn Rajab rahimahullah uses here. The origin of al-istiqamah, the asl of being upright and righteous, that a person's heart, number one, is upright regarding the tawheed of Allah, that a person practices the tawheed. And then he said, فَمَتَى اسْتَقَامَ قَلْبُ عَلَى مَعْرِفَةِ اللَّهِ. When a person's heart is correct and upright regarding having knowledge of Allah and the fear of Allah, and the love of Allah, hope in Allah, making dua to Allah, tawakkul alayhi, turning away from anyone other than Allah, when a person does this, he says, Istaqamat al-jawarihu kulluha ala ta'atihi. Then the rest of the body will fall in place with the heart. The rest of the body will fall in place with the obedience of Allah Jalla wa Ala. If the heart is sound, firstly, if the heart is upon istiqamah, firstly, according to the hadith. All of this is according to the hadith, the first hadith. Who collected this first hadith? Huh? Sahih? Abu Bakr?
That's who collected it.
Who collected the hadith? You sleep. Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah. Imam Ahmed collected the hadith, and the hadith is on Anas ibn Malik. And Anas ibn Malik, Abu Bakr explained the ayat to mean Al-Istiqaamah upon Tawheed. Al-Istiqaamah meaning being upright with regards to the Tawheed of Allah. All of this, based on this hadith, he said, if all of this is in place, Istiqamat al-Jawarih. If a person's heart is on the right track, then the rest of the body limbs fall in line with what's in the heart. Right? Istiqamat al-jawarihu kulluha ala ta'atihi. So when people say Allah knows what's in my heart, right? What's in the heart comes out on the limbs. It'll display on a person's limbs. طيب. He says, فإن القلب هو مالك الأعضاء. The heart is the king or the leader of the rest of the body. The heart leads the rest of the body. The heart is the leader. والأعضاء وهي جنوده. And the limbs are the soldiers, or the limbs are the soldiers of the heart. فإذا استقام الملك استقامت جنوده رعاياه. So if the king, meaning the heart, is in place, is correct, then the soldiers will say, which are the limbs, will be upright and correct. وفي الصحيحين, and the two sahihs, what are the two sahihs? Sahihain, the two sahihs are what? The two sahih books.
Oh.
Huh? Yes, Bukhari and Muslim. Sahihain.
When you said books, I'm like, okay.
Sahihain.
When you just said two, you said if
Sahihain.
they ain't sahih, I'm like, what?
Sahihain.
When you said the books, I'm like, okay, I got what you know.
They are, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. عن نعمان بن بشير رضي الله عنهما قال سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, Hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, that there's a piece of flesh in the body. If it is correct, if that piece of flesh, mudgha, a small piece of flesh, if that piece of flesh is correct, salah al-jasad kullu, then the rest of the body, the entire body will be correct. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّ. And if that piece of flesh is foul and spoiled and rotten, then the rest of the body will be foul, spoiled, and rotten. Then he says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبِ. That small piece of flesh is the heart. That small piece of flesh is the heart, which shows that the importance of guarding our hearts from evil, guarding our hearts from evil, from protecting our hearts from allowing evil to enter our hearts, and cutting off the pathways of evil to our hearts. As some people think that if you give importance to the heart, that this is a Sufi type of mentality, that only the Sufis are worried about protecting the heart, which is a mistake. that the Prophet ﷺ, his guidance, as is in this hadith, which is in Bukhari and Muslim, we have to guard our hearts. We have to teach our children that everything is not worth seeing, everything is not worth listening to, that the hearts, we have to guard and protect our hearts. As the Prophet ﷺ said, this small piece of flesh, it's a small piece of flesh, but if it's correct, then the rest of the body will fall in line. And if it's foul and spoiled, then the rest of the body will follow, because that heart, the heart is the Malik, is the king, of the leader of the body, and the rest of the body limbs are the soldiers. ويقول ابن القيم رحمه الله في مقدمة كتابه إغاثة اللهفان من مصائد الشيطان. Ibn Qayyim says in one of his books, وَلَمَّا كَانَ الْقَلْبُ لِهَذِهِ الْأَعْضَاءِ كَالْمَلِكِ الْمُتَصَرِّفِ فِي الْجُنُودِ الَّذِي تَصْدُرُ كُلُّهَا عَنْ أَمْرِهِ. It gives in the same comparison. Looking at the heart and then seeing that the heart is like the leader of the body, that the heart is like the leader of the body, giving commands to the body limbs. He says, وَيَسْتَعْمِلُهَا فِي مَا شَاءَ, and that the heart uses the body limbs to do whatever it wants to do. That the heart uses the body limbs to do whatever it wants to do. فَكُلَّمَا تَحْتَ عُبُودِيَّتِهِ وَقَهْرِهِ فَكُلُّهَا. So all of the body limbs are under the obedience of the heart. All of the body limbs are under the obedience of the heart, which shows the importance of guarding, protecting our hearts from evil, which could come from different ways. It could come from different ways. It could be from the things that we watch. It could be from the things that we hear. It could be from company that we keep, that we got to protect ourselves and protect our hearts. He said, rahimahullah, فَتَكْتَسِبُ مِنْهُ الْإِسْتِقَامَةَ وَالزَّيْغ. So based on the heart, a person will gain either righteousness or they will go astray, based on the soundness of the heart. وَتَتْبَعُهُ فِي مَا يَعْقِدُهُ مِنَ الْعَزْمِ أَوْ يَحُلُ. And it will, the body limbs will follow the heart, based on whatever the heart has the sole intention of doing. Showing that the heart is important. It's important to guard ourselves, and that we say Allah knows what's in my heart, or don't judge me, right? That's the don't judge me. Allah knows what's in my heart, no doubt. Allah knows what's in the heart, and what's in the heart professes on the limbs. If a person believes in Allah and His Messenger, if a person loves Islam, and a person is deening, or whatever the word that we're using, then it should show on the body limbs. It should show on the body limbs. But the body limbs express what's in the heart. So if a person believes in Allah and His Messenger, they pray. It won't happen before that. So first, it's the intention in the heart, that a person has the intention to do something. Meaning, actions are by intentions. Accidents happen, sahih. Unintentional things do happen. Unintentional things happen. Accidents happen, right? And Allah knows. And Allah knows everybody's intention. That a person could say that it was an accident. And Allah knows. And in some situations, we're not even able to gauge if it was an accident or not. We just got to take a person's word for it.
What's the best way to balance the both? Because to give an example, it's like having street knowledge and knowing when somebody's trying to be slick, but you don't have evidence for it. You don't have something tangible in front of you, But it's something you previously experienced by listening to how they talk, but you still can't make a conviction. How do you balance that?
You got previous experience with a person?
Mm-hmm. Like, not with them, but just you see a previous pattern, but you can't assume that because you may see certain signs of that pattern,
right,
and say, no, that person is doing what somebody else did to me from experience.
Uh-huh.
Qarina. What would you give to that person to help them to balance and suppress thoughts, suspicion, or...
I mean, we don't... Alhamdulillah, we Muslim.
That's a good question. They're saying the video through is on error.
It's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, inshallah. That's a qarina. Meaning, it's a sign where, alhamdulillah, we Muslim, alhamdulillah, we left what we left. But we don't throw everything away that might have been of some benefit that doesn't contradict Islam. Mm-hmm. So when you have a sign of something, you take caution. If there's a caution sign, you slow down, right? If there's a sign, which Islamically could be a qarina. A qarina is basically a sign of something. I don't know for sure, but this shows that, something's going on. This is the norm. People who do this usually happens. This is the pattern of it. In that case, you take precaution.
What about in kalam?
Same thing. Actions, statements. People who talk like that, they usually are into this. Right? I don't know if he's into it or she's into it, but that's the pattern of the people who usually do that. Everybody doesn't talk like that. There's a certain group of people. There's a certain type of people that are into a certain type of thing that usually use that type of mindset. That type of language, that type of mindset, right? And if that's the case,
because we have an epidemic in our community to where a lot of us come from a hard jahiliyyah, and when we come to be in a marriage or we come to be in a relationship or whatever, it's like trying to. People use a lot when they don't have knowledge. They use jahiliyyah, which is understandable. You're going to use to what you only know to try to balance and navigate yourself as protecting your heart or protecting yourself. But what I've been seeing and more experience in the past is that when they do that, it becomes more hard when they're probably with a spouse or with a friend that may have more understanding. And when the two conflict, you have to explain to the other person, listen, that's jahiliyyah. That, I understand that's your protection and what you're using as a tool to protect you. But you have to have husnul dhan, you have to have good thoughts, and you have to, even if you may see a similarity or a certain pattern, you still got to look at, the person who you're talking to and look to see if it's a consistency.
That the street knowledge doesn't trump.
Yeah, the street knowledge, no street knowledge trumps deen.
If the street knowledge is in agreement with the deen,
yeah, if it confirms, everything in the dunya is halal except for something that has tafsir.
If it's are we using street knowledge in the general sense as, street smarts, some people call it.
And it gets very...
As long as it doesn't contradict Al-Islam.
Right.
Now, if all a person has that and there's somebody that has more knowledge of the religious aspect, then the street smart doesn't trump the Islamic approach to life.
Excellent. The
street smarts don't, or street knowledge or whatever we come from, it doesn't trump the Islamic approach to life, the way we carry ourselves as Muslims. The streets don't trump that. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't pay attention to signs and stuff like that. All right, like you said, people who do this, they into that. The people who go here, usually they into that. Does that mean everybody that comes from that place is that? No, it doesn't mean that. But it's worthy. It's worthy of paying attention to. It's worthy of being cautious of your family being affected, of you being affected by something, of your children being affected by something. Is worthy of caution. It's worthy of it.
Where do you draw the line if one person says, well, where do you draw the line when a person says, well, listen, I see some signs from what I used to experience, and the person's like, well, ain't a dalil. For example.
Dalil for what?
Okay, you see some signs, but how you know I'm that person? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know you that person.
Exactly.
That's why I say signs. And I'm paying attention to signs. That's all I got. All we can go on was apparent. Until we find out something that's concrete, all I got was in front of me. Nahkam ala dhahir. We make ruling based on what's apparent in front of me. If a person comes in here and they say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and they pray 2 rak'ah and sit down, what do we assume? They Muslims. Right? That's what's apparent. Apparently he's a Muslim. What do we say? He ain't Muslim? Not a Muslim? apparently whatever's going on in front of me, based on what I know, I could be wrong, but based on what I know, the signs that you're projecting off to me is looking like this situation. If I'm wrong, then you correct me. But if you can't correct me, then I got to take the precaution to protect myself and to protect my heart, protect my religion, to protect my family. I don't want my family in that type of environment. I don't want my kids in that type of environment. And if you're saying I'm wrong, then maybe, because there's nothing concrete. I'm going on signs. It's a thin line because you can't, like, you don't go off accusing people.
You can't make a ruling.
You're not going to make a ruling on them. Unless you get something concrete, that's different. But we all know, right? Some things a person not going to come out and tell you. So therefore, you take the proper call. It looks it's too skeptical for me. It's too gray. I'm going to just stay away from it. I don't know what's going on.
But typically, it smell like cornbread.
Huh? Yeah, it look like a duck and it smell like a duck. I mean, that's the street, John, right? That's what if it looks like that, that's what everything, all the signs are pointing to that, you're going to ignore, we say, your gut feeling and go with the other one. You could be wrong, but you got to pay attention to signs because sometimes all we have is the sign. Sometimes it's all we have. So if all we have is a sign, which is Islamically a qarina. If we have a qarina and it's strong, we can use that to base a ruling on something or take a position on something, a qarina. Tayyib. The king is the heart, and the actions are the soldiers of the heart. The actions of the limbs, the body limbs, the rest of the body limbs fall in line with the heart desires and what the heart intends. With what the heart desires and what the heart intends. وَهُوَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْهَا كُلِّهَا. He says, and the heart is responsible for all of the rest of the body limbs, which says a lot. It says a lot about our actions. It says a lot about our actions. Our actions says a lot about what's in our hearts. And that's why sometimes people question, which is difficult to do. Sometimes, but people question a person's sincerity. Based on what? Looking inside their heart?
No.
No, you can't look in nobody's heart. But based on actions. And we say what? A person that's sincere, if you were sincere, you wouldn't go about it like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that. If you really, really wanted good for me, I made a mistake. Brother made a mistake. These days, it's a lot of mistakes. Huh? Brother made a mistake. Huh? What you do? You blast him in front of everybody. Right? First thing you say, well, why you do that? And I pray with the brother every day, or whatever the case is, the sister. We see, I might work with him. We work together. Right? This type of situation, I heard a lot of times. I don't know if he was sincere. If he was sincere, he could have just came to me. Why would you do that? It don't look like it was, it looked like we were trying to, it looks like, I don't know, but it looks like they were trying to do something else. It doesn't look like, based on everything that I went, the whole situation, it doesn't look like they were being sincere. Allah alam about if they were sincere or not, because we don't have the ability to look in the person's heart. But the qara'in, the signs point to, it looks like something else is going on. And that's all we can really go by. Can we say that the brother ain't sincere or the sister ain't sincere? I can't really say that. So that doesn't really look like sincerity. And Allah knows best.
When it goes back to how do you balance dealing with non-criminal situations when a person, whatever they say, it comes from the qawl. How do you balance that in regards to, like, let's say a person's talking a certain way and a person's like, listen, I'm just talking, but that's not really how I feel right now. I'm just like letting you know some information. How would you balance it too if he's talking?
I don't understand that.
Like how would you, like, basically you wouldn't know if you say a person, whenever, majority of when they talk, it comes from the qawl, sir. How would you differentiate when it's not, or it is?
From another person?
Yeah, like because sometimes people...
Or people just talking just to talk?
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
I don't know. A lot.
Yeah,
I mean, if you know a person, then you know, you just talk.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that talk, and sometimes they take that, and a person may make a mistake in his kalam. And a person would say, no, you wouldn't if it wasn't in your heart, you wouldn't have said it. People go around saying that a lot. It entwines to, it has a root to the other part.
Again, that goes back to, a person, for example, they say something, and it's offend. I'm offended. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm offended.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you say, no, I was just playing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, no, you wouldn't have said it if you was just playing. You don't just say nothing like that.
Yo, that's
right.
Yo.
All right. I mean, in a case like that, based on our relationship, based on something that happened, I know you said that based on something. Unless it just came out, because if it wasn't based on anything, it would be way out there. You just grabbed it out of left field. And if you just grab it out of left field, I'm going to act like maybe you tired, I don't know, you're mad or something, right? But if it's something that's relative to a situation we had, then yeah, you must really feel, have a problem about something that happened between us. Everything is based on Quran. Something pointed to that. People don't say that. Yeah, it's something that happened.
Either in the past.
Yeah.
And,
we went through a situation. Maybe I didn't notice at the time, right, that I offended you.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Later on, I don't know anything happened. Later on, you bring it back up.
You're still carrying it.
Yeah. Instead of, you just carried it on and never said nothing. You bring it back up later on and you bring it out there. So now I'm thinking, well, why would you say something like that?
So now it gets more complicated because now I'm talking to you in defense of trying to figure out what got you to that point.
It's case by case stuff.
It's case
by case.
Yeah.
The point is, we don't have to. We're not called. We're not obligated to leave off signs, looking at signs that's in front of us.
Because that's a big epidemic now in the African marriage system. Is that a lot of times, even if they go to sit downs or whatever, a lot of stuff doesn't come to light. A lot of stuff doesn't come out. And a person, if they went through a lot of hardship, they would use those as more of a tool, especially if they have a little bit of knowledge. So when they get into a marriage or a friendship or a business relationship, right, if they see something about the brother that has a trauma reaction or something, it could be a speech, it could be
that's important. So
something. It's an automatic clash more than reconciliation because one person already has a defense from the beginning.
That's why
and the other person
contracts
is obsolete.
That's why contracts, marriage, business, but marriage a little more. Business too. Important to know who's who. You got to know who's who. You got to know people. And that don't mean that y'all got to be going out, but it means that you need to do some serious homework on the person that may be having your children.
Get to know that person.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't be sitting there with their representative, and then when you get married, you find out to the real person. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get to know that person, you get to notice certain characteristics and certain things about them. But if you had one sit down, or you really don't know this person, you ain't asked the right questions or what have you, whatever it may be.
A lot of people don't know what questions to ask.
You don't know.
That's a whole nother problem.
That was important what Ali Davis said yesterday about some type of. I'll make it brief because I want to continue.
So my man now. I'm behind you, but don't worry about it. We get him.
No, he in class.
Inshallah.
Well, look, he's in here. Inshallah.
That's a whole nother issue. Inshallah, we deal with.
In our culture, that's a big because we have our family conformity is shocked. So when we have more marriages or sit downs and it's a wakil or so forth, a wakil is over 100 sisters or 50 women or 25 women. In other cultures, they have that family conformity to say, hey, I got a reference point. This was the aunt that watched her since day one. This is the mom. And they have more of an initiative to say, let me tell you about her just to let you know.
Brothers got to know and sisters got to know.
Because the community is not as
what are they looking for? People don't even know what they're looking for.
True.
That's a problem. What is a woman don't really know? She might not know. A woman might not know. It's not a knock on her. It could have been, or brother, it could have been by the way she was raised. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know what a husband is. She might not have grew up around, her household might not have had a man in it. You with me? So she doesn't know what a husband is supposed to do. And a brother, he might have grown up with no man in the house. He doesn't know what a man is supposed to do in the house. He doesn't know what a wife is supposed to do because he never experienced a husband-wife relationship going. He don't know what he's looking for. She doesn't know what she's looking for. So she go to a sit down, or they go to the sit down, and they're looking for just whatever they personally desire, which might not always be the best thing. It might not be the best thing, right? She's beautiful, but she's a headache in another place that you ain't gonna be able to take for more than 3 months.
And they jumping in it. So
But she's beautiful. She looks, mashallah. She might be smart, all that stuff, but it's a problem that she has that a brother's not gonna, he might not be able to tolerate that past 2 months, 3 months, and 2 months is done, and she pregnant.
And the same for the brother.
Same thing for the brother. Brother got a problem. She can't pick up on it because she don't know what she's looking for at the sit down. So she looking for whatever she looking for. He this tall, all the stuff she looking for, nice job, all the stuff. But he has a problem that she doesn't know is there, and she wouldn't even know how to identify it. She wouldn't even know to look for it because she doesn't know what she's looking for. So that problem that he has, she can't deal with that, and she's not going to be able to deal with it. So after a month and a half, 2 months, she might go a little longer. They little, mashallah, they be having a little more patience. But she might go 6 months, a year, and she wants a khula. And then he don't want to give her khula. So now she feels like she's trapped in a marriage, which is not correct also. That's a whole nother issue, but we'll deal with those, inshallah, on another day. Point being, the signs are not to be ignored because the heart is in control and the limbs basically act on the qasd, the intention and the desires of the heart. And as he says, وَهُوَ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْهَا كُلِّهَا, and the heart is responsible for the limbs, all of them. وَلِهَذَا قَالَ اللَّهُ جَلَّ وَعَلَى, and Allah says, for this reason Allah says in Surah Ash-Shu'ara, ayat number 70 or 88 and 89, where Allah says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Allah said, that day when money won't benefit a person, and children won't benefit a person. Money or children won't benefit a person on this day. Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, he said, لَا يَقِي الْمَرْء مِنْ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ مَالُ, that a person's money or wealth won't be able to save them Yawm al-Qiyamah. A person's money or person's wealth won't be able to save a person on Yawm al-Qiyamah from the punishment of Allah. The punishment of Allah a person can't be shielded from the punishment of Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah with their money. As Allah said, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ. Then Ibn Kathir said, وَلَوْ اِفْتَدَى بِمِلْءٍ الْأَرْضِ ذَهَبًا. Even if a person came Yawm al-Qiyamah and they wanted to escape the punishment of Allah Jalla wa'ala, and they wanted to pay in gold, all the gold in the world, they wanted to pay up to be protected from the punishment of Allah, that it wouldn't buy them. They can't buy it. They can't buy protection from the adhab, from the punishment of Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah said at the end of that, وَلَا بَنُونَ, and not even a person's children. If a person were to bring all of the people on the earth, that they wouldn't be able to protect them from the punishment Yawm al-Qiyamah. وَلَا يَنْفَعُ يَوْمَئِذًا إِلَّا الْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. The only thing, nothing will protect a person, nothing will benefit a person that day except for their belief in Allah, وَالْإِخْلَاصِ الدِّينِ لَهُ, and their sincerity that they had in their practice of al-Islam for Allah Jalla wa'ala, وَالتَّبَرِّي مِنَ الشِّرْكِ, and their disassociation and them leaving off all forms of putting partners with Allah Jalla wa'ala, any forms of shirk. And Allah said after that, and this is the point of the ayat, that day no person will benefit from their money and their children. He said, إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ, except for the person who comes with a clean heart, the person who comes with a sound heart, the person who comes before Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah with a heart that is intact, a heart that is sound. Imam al-Tabari rahimahullah, he said, هُوَ السَّلَامَةُ الْقَلْبِ مِنَ الشَّكِّ, a clean heart. It is that the heart is safe, that a person's heart is safe from doubt. The person has no doubt in the Tawheed of Allah Jalla wa Ala. No doubt in Allah's oneness. And the person has no doubt that they will be resurrected by the mamat, that they will be resurrected after death. This is a qalb salim. A qalb salim, that a person knows they don't have any doubt that their hearts, and that they have no doubt in their heart that they will be resurrected after death, and they have no doubt in their hearts in the Tawheed, the oneness of Allah Jalla wa Ala. وَكَانَ مِن دُعَاءِ نَبِيِّنَا صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ اللَّهُمَّ إِنِّي أَسْأَلُكَ قَلْبًا سَلِيمًا. And from the dua, from the prayers that the Prophet ﷺ used to make, the dua, from the duas that he used to make, he used to say, Allahumma, oh Allah, inni as'aluka qalban salima. Oh Allah, I ask you for a sound heart, for a clean heart, a heart that is without any blemish. Akhrajahu Ahmed wa Nasa'i. Imam Ahmed recorded this hadith, this dua, wa Nasa'i, or Imam Nasa'i. That dua is what? Allahumma inni as'aluka qalban saliman. And this is from the sunnah of our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that we ask Allah, just like we ask Allah Jalla wa Ala for all the other things that we want from the dunya, that we ask Allah to give us a sound heart. Qalban saliman. As he said, nothing will benefit us yawm al-qiyamah. Not money, not our children, not our wives. Illa man ata Allah bi qalbin salim. The only benefit will be for a person who comes with a qalb salim, a sound, clean heart. What they said in the tafsir, clean from no doubt. We have no doubt in the oneness of Allah, and that we have no doubt that we'll be resurrected. And what is the benefit? What is the benefit? What is the perceived benefit and the benefit of a person having no doubt in the oneness of Allah and having no doubt that they're going to be resurrected? What does that benefit a person?
Contentment in that which Allah tested them with.
Contentment in the qadr. Tayyib. Contentment in what they've been tested with. Tayyib. What else? A person knows for sure, no doubt, the Tawheed of Allah. None has a right to be worshipped except Allah.
They have more taqwa.
They have more taqwa. Jade.
They're able to, it's like, man, where let's stop.
I mean, with that would manifest into good deeds.
There it is.
Like it
person
rectifies a
is sure, and it should show in a person's actions. If a person is sure,
They have taqwa.
with no doubt that they're going to be resurrected Yawm al-Qiyamah, that we're going to die and be brought back to be answered, then no doubt that it should change a person, and it should show in a person's actions. Qalbin salim, no doubt in the oneness of Allah, then all the worship should be for Allah Jalla wa Ala, and should protect the person from showing off or wanting to be seen or wanting to be heard. Ar-riyah, as-sum'ah, it should protect the person from all of that, and it should change a person. It should change a person's actions. And we'll stop there, inshallah ta'ala. And we'll continue next week with the fourth qaida, qaida al-rabi'a, inshallah. Questions? Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.